Melbourne Storm. They're taking on the Parramatta Eels from Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. Baxter, take it away and talk to me about this Melbourne Storm side.
Yeah, you got the bloke that's blowing everybody away with his skill and speed. Nick Meaney, Will Warbrick, Martin Stiv, young TP, I'm going to just call you that, mate, and Xavier Coates to round out the back row. Munster Hughes in the halves. TK, Harry Grant, Kristen Welsh to be the front row. Trent Leroy, Tom Heisenhuth, Josh King around at the back, second row, and lock. Bronson Garlick, Alex McDonald, Elza Katoa, Tyron Wishart to make the interchange bench. Grant Anderson, Chris Lewis, TM, Aaron Penne, Jaden Nikarima to round out the extended bench. And man, oh man, I'd love to be a fly on the wall of that Newcastle away dressing room, but I'd love to not be a Storm player this week during training, because I reckon they'll be getting the shit flogged out of them on the paddock by Craig Bellamy, their super head coach, with that disgusting 26-18 loss up at Newcastle last weekend. Newcastle was strong. Newcastle, as I said, they sit 10th behind by 3 points, I think, from the top 8. So that really what's saving them is that Golden Point draw that they had has really sort of helped them, because as soon as teams lose, they sort of jump them up with that extra point in hand. So do Manly. They're really yin and yang on the ladder. But we talk about who's going to grab that 7 or 8 spot. Could it be the Rabbits? Could it be the Knights? Could it be Manly pushing for this 7th and 8th spot with the sliding down Cronulla Sharks? And man, oh man, I hate to be a player from the Cronulla Sharks with Craig Fitzgibbon, given that he is a terrific defensive coach, but nonetheless, the Storm should look to bounce back this weekend against the Parramatta Eels on screen. And I'm sorry, Sean, but you're in for a tough night.
Yeah, man, I think Melbourne, like you said, you don't really see them go back-to-back losses, and that goes a lot down to they're terrified to see their coach after one loss. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after the second loss. But I think the Storm moving forward, Cameron Munster's looking great. Jerome Hughes is looking great. Like you said, Nick Meaney's been in absolute cracking form, and there's still rumours that Ryan Pappenhausen could return before the end of the season. Whether that's true or not, whether he does or not.
I wouldn't risk it. He's better.
But even for next year, that's absolutely unreal that you've got Nick Meaney playing absolutely brilliant, and you've got a Ryan Pappenhausen to bring back into this squad.
Do you put Ryan Pappenhausen back at 1, or do you bring him off the bench? Game 1 next year. I don't know who they're playing. Game 1, the team list is up to you. Who do you put at 1? Who do you put at 14? Nick Meaney or Ryan Pappenhausen at 1? Who do you start?
I think you got to go Ryan.
Ryan? Okay.
And only because I think Nick Meaney is more versatile. I think you can put him in the centres if you have to. You can chuck him on the wing. Ryan Pappenhausen is a fullback. He's a fullback through and through in my eyes. I don't think you should be playing him anywhere else. And I think if I was to start, and again, he needs to get himself healthy, because I think like the likes of Latrell, Tom Trebojevic, Ryan Pappenhausen, they're starting to fall into that category where they might not have a very long future in this game because of how many injuries they are starting to continually get. But let's talk about the other side. Obviously, let's throw a shout out to Sean Lane. We hope he's feeling better. We hope he gets the recovery after that horrific injury last week. And we hope we see him back on the pitch, obviously, in the near future. But we hope everything heals properly and he is back with that injury. But you've got Clint Gufferson, Wacker Blake, Will Penasini, Bailey Simonson, your mate Sean Russell, Dejan Askey, Mitchell Moses, Ofahagi Ogden, Brendan Hands, Junior Parlo, Andrew Davey, Mr. Cardi Party, Bryce Cartwright, Jermaine Hopgood, Luca Marotti, Joe Offenhage, Joey Lussick, Ryan Madison, with an extended bench of Hayes Dunster, Eminem, Wiramu Craig, Kai Rodwell, and Jack Murchie. So not a lot of changes here. I think if you look at Hopgood, we said he could have made it into the Origin side this year. We thought he was going to once you went up 2-0. Bryce Cartwright's probably playing career best form at this current stage. Gufferson's played brilliant. Moses has played brilliant. Sean Russell, like you said, when he's in that win position, he loves a try, especially against those big boys. But I guess having that connection with Sean, seeing what I guess he's gone for before he got into that first grade squad, his injuries, he's bouncing back, that whole mentality of the squad and how they can bounce back. They're sitting in the top 8. They were 0-3 going into the season. This is without Dylan Brown. Now, whether you think he should come back or not, we have to agree that Dylan Brown was in absolute cracking form before everything happened. Yet they've been able to get past that, get past the injuries, get past Moses playing Origin, and they've snuck their way into the top 8. So talk to me about this Parramatta side and what you think going forward for this side.
Yeah, moving forward, I think they've got a favourite to pull run.
They have a fucked draw, and I'll read it to you just quickly.
Oh,
so they played Melbourne this week.
Yep.
They then take on Saints, which should be a win.
Yep.
They then play Brisbane in Brisbane, the Roosters, and the Penrith Panthers to finish the season.
So they finished with 4 points. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, plus another 2 for the bye. So it brings them to 6 points. So they finish on 30, which at the current stage sits them third. So it's not a bad.
I don't think 30 points is enough when you think
with what's going around them. They're not dropping out. I say they're not dropping out. With
who have you got them beating?
I said the Dragons and the second last week.
You've got them beating the Roosters 100%?
For sure. The way you guys are going, you're the opposite of Robin Hood. You've taken points from the poor.
Hey! We beat the Warriors twice this year. Thank you
and
very much. And
you're giving it out to everybody. You're just going. You're like you're the Oprah Winfrey of the NRL. You want 2 points. You've got 2 points. You've got 2 points. You've got 2 points, mate. If you wanted 2 points, take it while you can. Because
not the Warriors. You don't get 2 points.
Oh, boo!
And the Bulldogs, you don't get 2 points.
Oh, boo! Well, they never give points out anyway. But anyways, I don't see them dropping out, especially with their for and against 89 as it currently stands on 24 points. I give them 6 points, 2 wins and a bye. That pushes them to 30. Not saying that they finish in a top 4, but they will cement a top 8 position going into the last week of football. I'd probably say they probably rest if they've got a win-lose, non-movable position in the ladder. Like if they sit 5th, win, lose or draw, I'll probably rest all my players, give them a week. But nonetheless, if we're going on tipping, and I've gone a little bit of an upset here, I'll go on the Eels 1-12.
Is it an upset?
Do you want to know what the tipping scores are currently right now?
Tipping?
For our tipping points, you are at 199. I am at 203. That's why I think.
It's not that I don't agree with you that this could be an upset. My thought process is if you look at the betting, yes, it's an upset if Parramatta win. If you look at the positions on the ladder, yes, it's an upset if Parramatta win. But they've shown time and time again it's a bogey team for Melbourne. Last year, they did the double against Melbourne. The year before, they beat them. The year before that, they did the double against Melbourne.
That's why I say they've come off a loss. The pressure is more applied to Melbourne this week than ever. Going into this game, should I say. So that's why I say Eels, like if they won last week and then lost this week, we could say it was just a bad week for Melbourne. Unlucky that, it's the voodoo team. But given that they lost last week and then them dropping from 3rd to now 4th with a possible more going down the ladder in the coming weeks, this is a game that they have to win to keep a top 4 spot alive, and they will, at the currently stage, play Penrith at Penrith, probably on a Friday night. So, I'm going Eels 1-12. I've written it down. I'm not changing my mind.
Storm on the 12th.
Oh, Storm 1-12. I love it. Love it.
Storm 1-12. I think, like you said, and I think this is where it kind of benefits Melbourne. All these teams, obviously, their training schedules and all this would have been kind of moved around due to the fact that the Women's World Cup is on, whereas Melbourne, they've got Amy Park. They don't always train there. So, yes, they've lost it. The turf's not the best, but they've at least been able to have a few runs on there. So, I do think they get the result done. So, I'm going to go against you here, and I'm going to hope that turns the tides. I'm going to hope my boys have already picked up a result by the time we're listening to this episode, and I should be able to sneak a little bit in front come this episode. But Baxter, it's going to be an interesting clash because, like I said, Parramatta love getting the green against Melbourne, whereas Melbourne, you could almost say, are fighting for a top 4 spot at this stage of the season with this game. But let's see how this one plays out. It's going to be an absolute cracker to finish Friday night football.